y'all? Welcome to the latest episode of Mac and Jas on that peach emoji, the podcast. We got a special guest with us today, H-Town's very own Alic Walls in the building.
What's going on?
There we go.
Man,
What's up?
Jazz, you were like, we have to get this guy.
Yes, because I've been seeing you releasing so much music, and for those who don't know, like I guess we're gonna have to do a catch up, no mustard, but a catch up on who you are. So of course, you know, you remember the Walls group with your family and stuff. So how did you, just for people who don't know, how did you get started? Like you just singing, you're by yourself?
Well, I had ideas for that I wanted to incorporate with the family, but didn't necessarily mesh with like what was already branded and what really was like the Walls group, because the Walls group is Christian gospel. And
Grammy nominated, Stellar Award winning too. In case y'all don't know, the Walls group. Like there's not a liver group like that. There's just not. Y'all are so unique.
Trying to do something.
Y'all are very unique, and y'all are all like, your sound is hip and it's young, and like I vibe with it. I like it.
You know, I appreciate that. You know, we don't get a lot of good words sometimes.
But in the gospel world, you need that. My bad. I'm gonna shut up because I like what y'all are all about. But go ahead.
But everything don't really mesh together all the time. So I knew that I could, do production and stuff as far as the Walls group and us went. But I wanted to do stuff. I knew I had stuff that I wanted to bring to light. I knew I liked to sing. I knew I liked Brandy, Music Soul Child. I knew I liked everybody that was secular, but everybody was like, did you see what they did to Tone, bro? You can't do that. They not going to let you get out of there, bro. Not alive. They going to cut you down first. But I just was like, I don't think I care. I don't think I care because they not volunteering to pay none of my bills. They not sitting and walking and talking and living this life with me. They just get on Instagram to talk about it later on. I was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
So did the rest of the family have a problem with the way your ideas?
No and yes, because when it comes they'll put a battery in your back for sure, because if you can do it, go ahead, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. That's how we've always been. If you can start it up, I'm down enough to walk it with you. But when it came down to like, this ain't like a thing that anybody has ever like done for real. Like other than Johnny Taylor with the Soul Stirrers, he go back to being Johnny Taylor and singing the blues and singing about R&B, and then go back and sing When the Gates Swing Open.
Right.
And you got guys like that go back and forth, and that doesn't nobody care because he could just sing, flat foot sing.
Right.
But with TWG, I love God, and I still love God. I love God every day.
Right.
For real, I talk to God every day. But sometimes I want to say, dang, girl, you ain't no good. You ain't nothing. You're like, wow, I didn't even deserve this. Or sometimes I want to talk about what I've been through, where I'm coming from. Yeah. I want to talk about something dumb. I don't want to always be so serious, because I feel like you can connect with people in 1,000,005 ways. And there's like 1,000,000 ways to connect with a different person every day. And y'all don't want to just get caught up in saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you whenever were you like nervous about it for a while? Like, were you holding back from, talking about different things and
yeah. It took me a minute to cuss. Like, I was like really not, and I'm done with it again. Like, I was like,
you go back and forth.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like, not
Because
really
I listened
now.
to your latest. Because I listened to like every single album of yours, and the latest one, I noticed that you did cuss, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
no, I'm good with it.
That's what I said. Like, when I did it, I was like, my mom was gonna be so mad.
But it's a different genre.
And it's a different genre. So I'm an adult guy. I don't really have people that really knock on my door and say, hey, you can't do this. I mean, back in like the day when I was signed to different labels, they had people that said, hey man, you can't do this. You got to look this certain type of way. But then I said, well, what is image really? Like, people have this certain image to protect and this certain persona that they have to be and look like in front of people. And I'm like, who does that help? They don't help, and they never helped me that somebody was this perfect being that was untouchable to me. But I said, what if instead of holding up this big image for everybody to see and to keep clean and never get dirty, how about I just be the image, and when I get dirty and somebody look at me, the stain on my shirt, and say, yo, bro, how you get that? I can tell you how I got it, because one, I'm not trying to forget about it because it's right here. It's right, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing everything I didn't ever walk through. And I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm bold enough, I'm confident enough, and I'm smart enough to go and empower somebody else. That's why.
I like that.
I don't gotta go and say I'm gonna bust you in the head and shoot you in the face, and I got a chain, I'm gonna bang it in your face, and I still got the young man's attention in the hood. That's like, hey, little bro, and they hit me up, hey man, like this dude was doing this. What should I do? I'm not gonna say, yeah, go get him. I'm gonna say, bro, stay home. Like, stay home.
Speaking of that Jas put me on you, and I was wondering, God dogging, I'm tripping. I was wondering, do you think that you're misunderstood?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, because Jas put me on you, and then I started looking, and I'm going through the internet, going down the streets.
The internet streets, this fool.
And I went down one of these streets, and it was nothing but darkness, and your name came up. And I just want you to describe how you feel when people say certain things about you, whether it's true or not. How do you feel about that,
Well, I say all the time because my mom, I swear she's like my counselor. Like, she's trying to like break through. She's like, dude, you gotta shape up, bro. You're living crazy out here. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm telling you, I got a plan. I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing. It's like, nah, bro, you can't do that. But even with that, I tell her all the time, I'm not responsible for people's perception.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all people have to do is sit down and talk to me. Like, everything that you think is going on, we can sit down and have a conversation and talk about it. And I can debunk every single thing that you probably thought that wasn't true. But until you do it,
wait a minute.
you can think what you want to think.
What did you find?
Well,
Because I don't know what y'all talking about.
About 3 months ago, I guess it was about 3 months ago, I was looking on the internet. I mean, recently I looked on the internet, but it happened 3 months ago. And I guess you were saying something about the church lifestyle or something.
That was fun.
That was 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. And you're still here. I thought they were going to tear you down where you couldn't be.
What, they going to be in hiding?
Well, you never know.
Assassins, bro. What you mean?
I mean,
the church like that?
The church can be powerful.
Girl.
And especially some of the
That ain't
big
that
gospel
ain't
artists. They can be powerful. This is what I hear. I'm hearing that they can get you banned. I'm hearing they can stop you.
Well, listen, this is like the thing. I guess you kind of develop like a sort of reckless abandon or a kind of a I don't care to it when it's like already happened to you. Like, I'm 24. I've been doing this since I was 12. And it's just a lot of stuff that don't add up. But we from Houston. We not talk about it. We not going, hey, just so y'all know, this is happening, woo, woo, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We shook it off and said, all right, we got to eat that. Let's shake back. Mm-hmm. Because, like, it ain't nothing that's going to come out of making anybody look a certain type of way. Because people can be who they be. People going to know at the end of the day. When you open your mouth and when you look people in the face, they going to see exactly who you are. That's the truth. And people have sat around for years and slandered our name. They done said all kind of stuff about us that ain't even true. And all we done is work hard. Like, that's what Stay Down production thing does. Stay down, it's all gonna make sense later. Right. But it's like, all we done is sat there and work. I'm talking about through punch in the face. It's work. Because that's all you got. When you ain't got a friend in your corner, it's all you got is, well, let's just do what we've been doing. Because
so for the people who don't know, what exactly did you say about the church that got them so offended that the internet was burning?
So the thing is, everybody's in church. There's denominations in church.
Okay.
There's apostolic, Pentecostal, Baptist, what the other one? Non-denominational. Yeah. There's a lot of them. It's a lot. Right. But the one that I grew up in like all of them. My mama was Baptist, my dad was Cogic, my grandmother was Pentecostal, my other grandmother was apostolic.
Hold on. I thought you said something about Cogic. I mean, that's what got them mad.
Yes.
Whatever you said about Cogic got them hot.
It was them. I said, yo.
So Cogic is just to be clear, because I don't know, it's just a specific religion.
It's a specific denomination of Christianity.
Oh, okay.
So like certain principles and beliefs.
Okay.
So I said, yo, I'm just saying, on Twitter, an open opinion-based platform. I said, yo, I said, look, I really strongly dislike Cogic culture.
That was the tweet.
Okay. And, if anybody know anything about Cogic culture and Cogic, I ain't going to say all because, everybody going to get mad again. I'm going to just say certain people within the confines, that's their thing. They guard dogs. They ready. They ready to scratch. They ready to punch because you don't say something about my organization, but therein lies the problem. Because I'm not saying I dislike y'all. I ain't say y'all don't like y'all whole ass. I don't like nothing. I don't like that y'all sleep around. I ain't said nothing. I ain't told nobody dirty draws. I ain't said nothing. I said, yo, I strong because I gotta interact with these. The TWG's audience is teenagers and young adults. So we have to talk to these people at these concerts while we doing all this stuff that people say we do and are terrible people. We out here touching people for real and hugging people for real and having conversations with young people for real that's dealing with hurt from these organizations. But I'm a young youth leader. I'm not supposed to say something. I'm supposed to shut up. Malcolm X ain't shut up. We in Black Lives Matter. Why Black Lives don't matter in the church?
Facts.
Wow.
They don't matter because your favorite pastor said it don't matter, and you shut up and let's suppress him, and you can't suppress the truth because this is like, hold on.
Sip on them.
This is like our generation, like 24, 23, 22. We was the ones that was like crazy. For like, if anybody remembers, like Project X happened, everything. We was Odd Future Wolfgang. We was everything.
Right.
Everything bad. It was we were like the lost generation. The children under us are so smart. They are so smart. Like they watched. Like they didn't repeat. They just watched and said, "Nah,
we're gonna do
I
it
think I'm
different."
gonna do it different."
Right.
And that's genius to me because now you have things like the Me Too movement. Now you have things like Black Lives Matter. Now you have things like all these voices, but now you need people that are like, okay, y'all have the voice, but nobody has the initiative to speak and act on the voice because nobody's qualified. And it's not that nobody's qualified, but people are focused on the wrong things. And particularly in our city too, there's not enough people promoting the right thing. And it's like there's not really like a wrong or right thing if you live in your truth. But like, bro, Miss Gardner, you think cool. I don't know who told you that. But I've had to like walk and talk with you. I have young siblings. It's 8 of us. And it's half of them is four. The 4 young, one is in college, the other one just started college and one is in high school and the other one is in middle school. And I know all their friends. I have to meet and talk with them. I can't be out there doing the fool and acting the fool for them because they looking up at me like I'm their big brother too.
And you a real life role model for them.
I gotta be because like, it's not a lot of them. It's not a lot. And so I think my goal really is to just like change like the face of like what we think is cool. Because I remember I chased what I thought was cool. And my cousin died. B.G. Kenny Lou.
I know him.
Got killed. And I remember that was like me and my sister, like we was like, bro, they had to look at me because I'm looking at him. That's my big cousin. I'm like, yo, yeah, lifestyle, gang, everything. Like that was cool to me. Like
Right.
It was cool because that was somebody I knew had my back. And I was like, if you doing it, it's cool. But then I saw like the inroad and I had to like look up and say, man, my little brother watching me.
Right.
My little cousins watching me. All the little boys in South Park, Mo City, everybody in the city watching me. All the 157K that I didn't buy that just chose to follow me are watching me. And it's other things that I can say. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And a lot of black people are targeted right now. And I'm going to make a bigger target on you by making you look a fool and act a fool. I'm going to empower your mind. I'm going to help you get out here and say, yo, you going to know what to say in these situations. You're going to know what to do in these situations because you got somebody that's thinking not for you, but that's already thought ahead enough to tell you about it.
You're 24 years old, and it seems like you've seen a lot in your life. And I was just wondering, a lot of black men don't go to therapy. Do you think that you need therapy, or have you ever been to therapy?
Yeah. I was in therapy for a minute. I had to fire my therapist. It was my pastor. And I was like, this is a little too pastoral.
What?
I need some more. I need a little realer approach. Because it was in the right place. After a while, it got to be, I couldn't necessarily walk in who I was because, your leaders and your predecessors always think that they have an idea of you. And sometimes the thought of you kind of branching off on your own and following your own ideas is scary to them. And so I was like, I'm going to just use you a little later. I'm just come to church. and that's gonna work for me. So one, I've been seeking out a new therapist, but for a minute I had to like talk through this stuff and work through some stuff and face a lot of things. And
on your own first?
On my own, and then I was smart enough to go and get my pastor and like, hey man, let's talk, because I say all the time, I'm like the only man that hates men. Like, I'm like a man hater because I just haven't had many great role models in that position to really show me like what it is to be a man. So I've had to like walk this path by myself and like figure it out and like show these other young men what I figured out. And I'm like, yo, what the rest of y'all was doing? Like, what was y'all doing? Like, I ain't know nothing. What if I just made the wrong move and like I told somebody the wrong thing? You was here before me. Because that's our charge. We're grown men and they're young boys. We're supposed to come talk to them. I know they're a little mad now and they're a little extra YG, a little extra gangster. What you say to me, old man? Like, they be like that. But it's about your approach and it's about your delivery to them. Because if they don't respect you, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to respect your advice and they're not going to respect your words. It's not about your words, it's about your walk. If they see the way that you walk ain't adding up with the way you talk, they ain't hearing nothing you got to say.
So when Alic goes outside, how does he walk?
I move in silence. I move in silence because it was a moment in time where I was like, dang, I need a group of friends, bro. I ain't never had a group of friends where I just was like B is my own. Me and B been friends since 9th grade, and we used to have a group of friends in high school, and like we the only two left.
Wow.
And then got out of high school, went and tried to find another group of friends. I done been in like 6 fights this year.
Fist fights?
Yes. I was like, you know.
With who? What you mean? Like,
bro.
In the streets?
Dog, basketball court, it's like, you know, basketball game. It's like, why is this surrounding me? It is because it's what you're seeking out. And the people that I was surrounding myself with, that was the energy that they attracted.
Wow.
And like, you ain't got too many times to be in the wrong area and the wrong group of friends and you get out unscathed. So I was like, man, you know, I got some people to be alive for. And I can't let everybody know what I'm doing because, one, people will take your ideas. It's a lot of Houston is talented.
Very talented.
Don't tell me they stealing gospel music.
I'm making R&B music and hip hop. This is right up their alley. They want to sing. Oh my God, wait. I got the connections, but he got the voice. So I'm going to put him in the session. And then we going to just forget about him after he give me all the gems and the jewels. I'm like, I'm going to just shake your hand and go rock my own session.
So you've been releasing all your music on your own? Completely?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for label backing. That's not going to happen.
And you've released 5 now albums this year? This year. Okay, so you make your own music. You produce everything on your own. Write everything on your own. Where are you making this music? In your house? Everything?
In my house. In my apartment. On my
mix and
laptop.
master everything on your own.
On my MacBook with duct tape on it. It got duct tape on it, bro.
That's the most independentness.
You gotta make it work. This is the 3rd laptop I've had to have. These things don't be making it.
That man is like Prince. He write, he produce, he direct. Did you direct your video?
Okay, so my friend DeAndrea, she's from Sunnyside. That's where my people are from. And we grew up, we used to go to Cullen Missionary Baptist Church on Cullen. And so she does videography now. They do their production company is called Free Game Productions. And she's like, dude, I'm doing this. Let me come shoot your videos. You ain't got no visuals. I was like, dog, I'm ugly on camera, bro. I just don't know how this works. I'm going to look awkward. It's not going to be a good, it's not going to turn out good. She's like, dude, you have too much music to not have videos. Come on.
For real.
So we shot like 2 of them. And I like the edits, but I had to learn when I don't got $1 million. I was signed to a label, but I didn't get nothing out of that but a verified stamp.
Really?
What? You know.
Is it because you had to split the money with the whole group? Like it's just, or it goes quickly?
It was more like, what money?
For the whole group? Because it was getting spent on
I'm
because
not.
I know a lot of artists be like, oh, well, we had to pay for travel, like all the stuff we didn't know we had
was
to
coming
pay
out
for.
of pocket. We was paying parents, mom and dad was paying for travel and room and all that. We don't know what was going on with label.
So they weren't helping y'all at all?
No.
Right, basically. But you're not with the label anymore?
No. Okay. We had to leverage our way out of that contract.
He said leverage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what? It was, Because after a minute, you can do it to kids. and you can do it to two parents that, you know. But when niggas start growing up, and it's like, yo, I got to see you at these awards, and I'm from Houston, Texas, and you from Dallas.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Yo, like, you know, hey, I got to see you, P. Like, I got to see you, dog. And we got to talk one way or another. And you just think my daddy crazy. He had 8 more, and each and every one is a different kind.
You said a different kind of crazy.
Yo, like, for real. It's like that movie Inside Out with the different emotions. There's a different type
I remember that movie.
Yo, it's bad. So, like, we got to conduct business.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that's been unprofessional.
That's crazy.
So, and you OG, you the big homie in the game. So, it's already up that your word ain't your bond. So let's just get out this contract while we can. Like, let's get out this contract and stop playing around, because it's apparent that you mad because you want to write and produce everything, and we ain't going for that, because that's where the money is at. The money is in publishing and writing. But you ain't saying that. Trust me. Let me just drive. Let me show y'all the way. Let me be that guy, because I've been here for a minute. But behind closed doors, they not worth the money.
Wow.
Behind closed doors, nah. They entitled. They bratty. I'm like, people come back, like, you in my city talking about us. And people coming back telling us that you that said this. You at concerts, you at other places, talking to people at the venue about us. And we ain't even mentioned you. Even in Bad Blood, we ain't mentioned you once. You still. It's like, I don't know what the narrative is that I don't know what people think has happened. We still ain't said nothing.
Wow.
We ain't said, yeah, this name, that name. We ain't named no label heads. We ain't named nobody. We just said, cool, we gonna be great. God gonna bless us anyway. Because what's gonna come out of us saying, yo, y'all better be weird. They gonna know.
Right.
People like him anyway. They gonna like you. They gonna stomp for the rest of their life. They gonna do it.
If you don't know, you know now.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna do it for the rest of their life. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't my responsibility what you believe and don't believe. But I gotta be okay. I gotta survive. I'm a 24-year-old man in an industry that's a young man's game, and I don't got $1 million like NBA YoungBoy. I got work ethic, and I got an apartment and a MIDI board and a laptop.
Okay. Speaking of that, for someone who doesn't know you, give me 5 songs that you would like them to listen to introduce yourself to them.
Dang, that's crazy.
Gotta pick 5. You got a lot of music.
I gotta pick 5. I got a lot of
A
music.
lot
5
of
songs
music.
for somebody who don't know who you are. Like, if they just come off the street, these songs are the songs that represent you.
Ooh,
That's why I gave you 5, because you can go from a
You
beginning.
give us different vibes.
Okay, so it's a song called Jesse. Jesse's a great song.
Hit song.
It's a song I just did a video for called Funny Seeing You. It's a great song. It's like, you know, it's about playing games. You know, I'm retired though. I don't play games no more. It's another song called Bad Man. There's like specific. It's like BADMA and Bad Man, and then it's like a play on the term Bad Man, because, you know, they gonna call me a bad man anyway. So I may as well just do my thing regardless.
Right.
And okay, let me think, because I don't wanna settle. I gotta say these. They go look up these songs for real. I don't want it to be like, yo.
Nah, they gonna look them up.
It sucks. I don't want to say that. Like, come on.
Number 3. You need 2 more.
I got a song called "You Choose Me," and it's kind of more like Christian based.
Okay.
Because, you know, I'm like, even though I sing R&B, you know, the Lord, he be still dealing with me. He be like, hey man, you gonna give me some love on this song? Or like, what? Like, come on, dog.
Right.
So sometimes I gotta keep it real. I gotta talk that talk. I gotta talk about where I've been. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not one of those guys that's like, God, I can't really say his name in this song because it wouldn't be cool.
Right.
I'm gonna say his name when I want to say his name, bro. So that song is more geared towards, like, you know, it's like telling the story.
Okay. One more.
And the last song is called Wrong Way.
Wrong Way.
Why that one?
It's real ghetto. It's real ghetto. I was real mad when I made it, so I was like, you know, I like the emotion in this joint. It's real cool.
I got another question. What are the most painful lyrics you ever had to write? That's a true story that we can go look in your song.
I got an album coming out.
Oh,
Another one?
This is exclusive, y'all.
The only reason these other albums have come out is because TuneCore and United Masters been playing with me, and they've been like sending my joint back like, yo, your artwork is messed up. I'm like, no, it's not. It's perfect. Stop kidding with me, bro. So they keep moving my date up. So I'm like, in the interim, I'll line up releases because I just make music. So I like line up releases for certain times in the year, and it's just been running into the other releases. So it should have been out like a minute ago. But I'm like, maybe this is like intentional. Maybe it's like holding it for a reason. Maybe I got some reason to hold it. I ain't tripping. But this is like honesty for real. I wrote a song called Delete This for my first project, and it was kind of geared at that whole male hate thing.
Okay.
And I addressed 3 people. I addressed my brother, my papa, and my dad.
That's deep.
But my papa's passed. My dad is like doing great, and me and my brother are working on our relationship. But at the time, I didn't feel good about none of them.
Wow. And this is coming out when?
This came out in February. So it's on Apple Music.
So I got to go look for this right now. I'm going to go listen to this.
Yeah.
It's hard. Music is, I feel like music is it's a language, it's a conversation.
And another question, do you get along with your dad? I mean, what's your relationship with your dad?
Me and my dad are like really cool now. Like we were really cool. We had a moment in time where he didn't agree with a lot of stuff that I was doing. And
is he like a man who goes to church every day and reads the Bible every day?
My dad used to be a musician in the church, and a lot of people don't know because we don't make it a lot of people's business. But growing up, my dad, he was a musician in the church, but he struggled with drugs. Like he was on drugs for like a long time, and then he went to Life Change and turned his life around. But then he still had a lot of childhood trauma and a lot of things to work through. And so my relationship building with him has been having to give him a chance to be a father for because my dad has 5 sons. And a lot of them reject him. And I'm like, I don't want to be another one to reject you, bro. And I know that you ain't got the chance to even be your best self. And this is a time in your life where you are moving and operating at your best self. When you talk to me, you got an issue with anything. You don't call me and bark at me no more. You call me and say, hey, what's going on with this? And I appreciate that. I'm like, yo, thank you. I don't gotta feel like I'm on the edge and I gotta fight my way out the corner. And so I appreciate his journey. So
that's great. What's your best quality about yourself? When you describe yourself, what is the best quality about you?
I say that I'm hilarious. I would say that I'm hilarious. I like to talk. Intellect is cool because I love people that can talk and have a conversation and think 7 steps ahead because I'm that type of person. But I think that you can be smart with just a hint of funny. Funny is just the icing on the cake. If you can just do it without it feeling like you're trying too hard, you can just slip it in there and then people are like, oh, this guy's funny. It's cool.
Okay, what's the worst thing about you?
What's the worst thing? Dang, let me think.
That's a good question.
That's a really good
Got me
thing.
digging into myself.
Dang, I like myself. I had to learn to love myself.
If you need to, give him a mirror. So
Shut up, Jimmy Mac.
Girls would say that I'm a leaver.
I'm a leaver
because I don't. I'm gonna be and do what I need to do to make the relationship work for real. But the moment I see that it's not reciprocated, I'm gonna say, yo, we should just be friends. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you straight up. But all the time,
is it because you're leaving too early?
I think I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm sometimes it might be a little too early, bro. You might be a little too harsh, man, because people be liking you, bro.
People be liking
and
you. And
I'm man, but I'm like that with a lot of things, not just girls. I'm if I feel like it ain't it, I'm all right, I'm off of it. I'm done. I'm good. And some things require a little bit more, stick-to-itness than just everybody got a point to prove. And it's I don't got to be here if I don't want to be here. And so, I got to get that chip off my shoulder a little bit.
Before we go, tell them how they can reach you and tell them what projects we should be looking for.
Yes.
I am on Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram at ALICWALLS. Apple and Spotify, just ALIC. Not Alicia Keys, just ALIC. It's all good in the hood. I'm coming out with a project called Neverland, and it is, I think, 20 songs. But I like to divide the project in like different, like it's like, you know how Kendrick Lamar does projects, and he like tells a story throughout the project, so you don't even realize that the project is like as long. He be having songs like 8 minutes, and you be like, oh my god, but it was so good because he told a story. So I ain't got no 8-minute songs, but it's a journey, it's a process, and it's like it's a lot of truth. And I told it this time. I told it.
Well, we cannot wait to hear it.
So it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be great.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Dude, thank you for having me. I love to talk.
Like, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow Alic on everything. It's Mac and Jas on the podcast.
All right.
Hey.